Hi, I'm meteorologist Ted Keller. I wanted to give you a heads up for Tuesday across the Ozarks. We have a severe weather risk and a flooding risk. Now, tomorrow, Monday, will be a gorgeous day, very warm, highs well into the 70s, and mostly clear weather, but it will go downhill, especially later, I think, on Tuesday, more toward Tuesday evening, even overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. Well, been talking about this almost for a week now. This cutoff upper low in the southwestern U.S., Arizona, New Mexico, on Tuesday afternoon, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, is ejecting into the plains. This will cause a belt of winds to come out of the south across West Texas. That right there is a separate severe weather concern. And then another concern, maximum concern, would be this area up here along the warm front and potential low that might be developing along a stationary front. So all that being said, we are not in either one of those, right? So we are not in the worst scenario so far, and but we are under a slight risk of severe storms. I do want to show you that the moisture and has been allowed to stick around. No fronts have scoured it out. So the Cape values, the unstable air aspect of this, is pretty good, higher than it's been probably all year, and covering Missouri and all the way down to the dry line in western Oklahoma and maybe even into Texas. So that's the scenario here. And let me show you how the SPC sees it. They see it as a level 3 out of 5 from northeast Missouri up into the heart of Illinois, including Peoria and Bloomington, those areas. Dubuque, Iowa is up here. I didn't mean to say Dubuque, but Ottumwa is in that. And then a very large broad brush level 2, which is the slight risk category that runs from Indiana. Chicago's included in that, all the way down through the Ozarks, and then all the way down to Texas. And then the dry line is here. They haven't pulled the trigger on anything heavier there yet. They may. Let's take a look at CSU's data, and it has a tornado bullseye right around western Illinois. But the Ozarks are in roughly all the area is in the brown, which is 5% tornado risk. So, it is something that is being watched. The hail risk is bullseyed again in that same area right around the Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, triple point there, I guess you could say. And same with wind, just around St. Louis and maybe points north. So here's what it'll look like on Tuesday afternoon. We've got a surface low that'll be developing in southeastern Colorado. We've got some pretty good wind flow here. Now, the colors are temperatures, so this indicates readings 70s and maybe even some 80s. And so we have two features. We have the dry line connected with this low, and we have the potential for these winds to start backing as we go into the evening hours and giving a more favorable environment for tornadoes. And then we have this interesting feature here, which is a stationary front. Storms that can latch onto this front and move along, and the jet stream flow would support them being able to latch onto a boundary like that, can in and of themselves become tornadic. I'm considering a storm chase Tuesday. Actually, I just don't know which way. I could go to this, which would be a little bit more of a distance, but it would be okay. Or I might just stick to the traditional dry line, triple point sort of chase out there in western Oklahoma. Not sure yet. On the precipitation side, we had a good soaking rain across the Ozarks late last week, and that is very healthy. It didn't cause too many problems. We do have another heavy rain outlook to look at for Tuesday. This is a slight risk of flash flood guidance being exceeded, at least 15%, maybe as high as 40% chance that additional rain will trigger a flash flood warning in this area in yellow, which covers almost all of the Ozarks. And if you look at the precipitation that is forecast, this is the Weather Prediction Center's latest forecast. We have solidly 1 to 2 inches, I think, of rain across southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas, in addition to what fell. And in some areas, there was, 3 inches of rain. So, total, it would be enough to maybe rivers are running a little high. So, in other words, the threshold for getting flash flood warnings has dropped because we added some, much needed rain to the Ozarks, but nevertheless, it will impact that. So we'll look at that late Wednesday into Thursday. So if I had to sum it up, I would say severe weather is possible in the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. But I think it's all going to really probably for the Ozarks maybe be a later evening event, and then a big rain mass that develops late on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning.